slays and pollute or just achievement worries and play. They're all the things I've left to endeavor, grinding away. I do this almost every day. With me, rain or dew, I will show up in a grub.
This is Kitten Features, and you're listening to Show X Live with Ken in a student accommodation all the way in Scotland, and Wade in his white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Show X on VTWProductions.com. You're listening live at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT on this Sunday, April 5th, 2015. Welcome, everybody, to the show, and welcome, as always, our good friend and co-host, Ken. How are you doing today, sir?
Good day, my man. I am fantabulous. I'm in a very good mood. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yes,
very good move. Someone had morning sex, or I guess it would be afternoon sex for you.
Yeah, more like middle late afternoon, post brunch kind of sex. Yeah, but no. we'll get into that. How are you doing today? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. I am doing pretty good. Especially as for any of you who are joining us in the video wall this week, you will see me for a change. As I have not necessarily got things sorted, but I at least have things patched together in such a way that you can see me this week on the show as well as Ken. So we are back to full strength and at least somewhat normal operating status. Yay for that. So there is that. But other than that, no, I'm doing good. Things are alright so far.
Good. Glad to hear it. So far, are you assuming that the show is going to go to hell in a few minutes? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I won't say it's going to go to hell, but we'll say that whether your camera freezes, I forget to put any more music into the stream so that we actually have a show, or click a wrong button here or there. I don't know what could happen today, but let's hope for a nice, even keel, normal show.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what terror strikes in the hearts of all of us, eh? But until then, what have you been up to this week? You go first for a change. Let's do that.
All right, I can do that. I hate when you try to do that. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get things started with
Functional deviations.
So what have I been doing this week? Non-geeky related or only pseudo-geeky related? Well, the first thing is, as I was saying, the whole webcam situation so you can see me, is that like I said, I haven't got sorted yet, but I basically yanked my computer out last night and went through because I felt like I was having whatever was causing my camera not to work had to be a USB issue or something like that. Partly, I think, because I had taken out my streaming card, my AverMedia card that I was using for streaming my main screen as an interrupt, capture card, and instead, because my motherboard is old, decrepit, and barely functions, although it works great for gaming, if I try to add or make it do anything new, it gets really angry. And so I instead swapped that out for, in the PCI slot on top, a USB 3 card. So that I could use things like my Tobii eye tracking hardware, stuff that takes USB 3. I'd gotten a USB 3 somewhere down here, but a hub to split it out to multiple channels. Come to find out that not all USB 3 is as backwards compatible as you would like to believe. Damn it. So yeah, there's little things I've been learning, but in doing so I thought, okay, I'll switch ports, much like you did troubleshooting before the show. Switch ports on my camera, reinstall the software, disable everything, turn back on. None of that worked. So, you're getting video right now, but not for my beautiful, 720p streaming Microsoft HD camera that I've had for several years now. No, you're getting it from my $30, I needed a camera downstairs. As can you break your camera right now?
Hey, Hando told me to. That's my excuse.
Oh, that's your excuse? No.
I have one.
Oh, yeah, see, Ken's breaking. Why did you say this with the video wall, guys? You know that us playing on the video wall during the show breaks things. I can only get on through my phone or through the laptop, which is why you never see me in the video wall during the show because I kind of want you guys to have a good show. Oh, wait, what? He's back. It looks like he's getting it working. The difference is he doesn't have to stream everything out and give me video and audio and everything like that. He just has to give me his video and audio and hear us.
But we know that I always run a perfectly smooth show when I do.
Yes, regardless of chinchillas or anything like that, which I will give you credit, Ken. In fact, I will give you, well, I don't feel like I can give you all the credits, but I will give you at least an...
Objective complete!
For what you did last week, because you did manage to continue the show even after nature had intervened. Meaning Mittens got in there and decided to kill your physical connection. And so wirelessly through your phone as a hotspot, I am proud that you were able to get through and actually get the show going. Especially with our guest, Molly Lewis, on, because, gosh, we love Molly. She's very entertaining. I say last week, the week before, but because I finally got to go back through and listen to the episode. Good job. I thought I was very entertained.
Did you like my editing where whenever there was anything missing, I'd just like go, I broke this bit, sorry.
Well, you did the one drop in that you did actually comment through, although you did leave a few gaps in there when you went silent. And essentially Molly was hosting the show on her own. Thank goodness she was in the IRC and that she's so in tune with the world that she was able to just go through and keep things running in spite of Scottish chinchilla
I
internets.
left that in because I thought it was funny. I admit. I disregard show integrity in exchange for my own personal humor. I apologize.
I was entertained. I will tell you I was entertained. So that was actually pretty funny. But along those lines, no, I failed and cannot get my nice webcam to work. I think it actually might be hardware related in the sense that it might be the camera itself. It may not be, what I thought where it was the USBs or something like that or some kind of conflict. I think it might actually be... as I bring my mic into the frame. I think it might actually be the... just that camera may be old and dead. I don't know. Maybe I've moved it too many times. It got shocked a few times. I'm not sure, but it might be dead. So, I will... Because I went down the stairs and grabbed my cheap one, plugged it in, it works fine. So I may be off to the candy store at some point here or the Amazon Primes, because that's an addictive evil thing. And... I may go and try to replace that camera this week and get something better. Other things I've done, now that I spoke of Amazon Prime, it reminds me. Have you heard about the sugar-free
Haribo gummy bears?
Yes.
If you before you continue, I heard of them through Funny Junk, as I hear of far too many things through, usually nefarious things. There was this chap on Funny Junk. What's his name again? I need to remember it because it is fantastic. But this guy, he did the challenge because he saw the Amazon adverts saying that there's a warning on the label for these gummy bears, by the way, and it says. Warning, you may have extreme amounts of diarrhea if you have...
Well, no, it says may cause intestinal distress.
Peanuts Bitter is the guy's name. So he tried that from Funny Junk. And there's a video of him, this kind of cut to the best parts. But the first, 7 minutes of the video was just them eating, this giant bowl of these sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah, 5 pounds of sugar-free gummy bears.
And he gets to the point where he's like, I feel okay, a little bit gassy, and then it just cuts to him on the toilet, and it's very graphic. It's just, you hear it, you don't see it, but you hear everything. And it's like a waterfall, let's say, but it's not a waterfall.
It is, the way... I will tell people, by all means, go to Amazon.com, look up the sugar-free gummy bears, and just read the reviews. I believe that some of it might be a bit over the top of what's reality, and may have turned into more of a creative writing exercise. But the language used is usually very descriptive, very, very eloquent, and can really create some imagery, almost bring you into feeling the distress yourself for those involved. Yes, as Copy quotes her favorite review of it, which was basically a single line, said, "Don't eat the whole bag, you'll poop forever." Well, I cannot necessarily give a good reason why. I can't. I keep trying to describe it, and there's nothing smart or logical that comes to mind. But every time I read these reviews, I have this ridiculous urge to experience this myself.
Oh, geez.
To some level. So I went on to Amazon.
You've got a bag in front of you right now? Please don't say you do.
No, not in front of me right now. It's actually in the other room. But...
Oh, dude! What?
I did go and order a 5-pound bag of gummy bears. It
Oh my
arrived
God.
via Amazon Prime, and I have commenced eating a good portion of the bag. However, this is not what I had expected, nor what I had hoped to be experiencing. Because, unfortunately, you cannot on Amazon today buy the sugar-free ones from Harbo. You can buy them from other companies, but you cannot buy them from the primary company everybody knows. They only sell the sugar ones right now. And so when I ordered, even though I queried for sugar-free, and the one that came up and it had all the reviews under it, the one I got is sugar-filled.
And
so
that's just normal Haribo then.
They are just normal gummy bears, which I will tell you, if you do consume a large amount of, still give you minor discomfort, but nothing like what has been described from the sugar-free. And so
I can imagine.
I was a bit disappointed, and I get to share these freely with people without having to put the warning label on them, because my hope was to leave them out, but print a printout of reviews with
Sure.
the warning label highlighted underneath it to basically say, at your own risk. And so, like I said, I can't say why I'm so, wanting to try this out, but yeah.
I want epic amounts of dehydration,
so here's the thing.
discomfort,
That's
embarrassment.
if people do the whole 5 pounds, right? Or just too much. I was hoping to start out with 2 or 3, give it some time, see what that did to me, a little more scientifically, and then maybe go to 4 or 5, and go until I first really experience some kind of results from it. Because everybody says the sugar-free ones taste amazing. But if you could actually get a controlled response with them, they could be the best laxative in existence.
That's true. That's true. And most
As long as
tasty
you-
one as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Instead of having to go to the store and get over-the-counter ridiculous ones, you could buy gummy bears and have them do the same effect as long as you use them in proper proportion. And no, Kuro, no, these would not be Game Fest gummies. I like my house. I have to deal with enough interesting experiences in the bathroom that everyone shares that I don't want to risk someone destroying and turning my house into a biohazard zone. So I would never leave those out of Game Fest.
Brilliant.
That'd be disgusting.
35 or so grown men and women using one toilet
Oh, God,
among
no.
them
God,
with, sugar-free gummy bear excrement. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, like I said, I appreciate my house. I love my house. I do not want this to happen to my house. So anyhow, I may be on the hunt still to find some of the sugar-frees in a large quantity. I was so disappointed that the ones I did buy were not. But they're only $14 for 5 pounds, so that was kind of cool. Other things that I've done this week. Adventures in cosplay. I have been trying to work on my Mr. Hercule / Mr. Satan cosplay from Dragon Ball Z. In doing so, I've got my boots. Boots and boots and boots and boots. I've got my basically boxing style boots that are ready for the cosplay. I have to get some white shoelaces that are long enough for it, as well as paint the center line of it to be white like he does in the cartoon. But I also got my martial arts outfit, my gi, and I made a mistake, I think. Anyhow, the gi I got was white because I figured I would dye it to the proper color of the top, which is supposed to be this dark brownish maroon color for his gi top.
Sure.
And it's a nice lightweight gi, so I figured that'd be perfect for a convention because it'll breathe, I won't get too sweaty, deathly,
Sure,
and
sure.
die running amongst having fun. Well, it's gotten some color to it. But, well, I'll go through the thing. I watched some YouTube videos about how to dye. I got some classic RIT dye, the good quality. This is what you're supposed to heat up and do dyeing with to get all the color fast. And I got a combination of a cherry red and a dark brown to mix, so I could get a whole real thick dark color with that red undertone on it, which would be perfect for the gi from
Sure.
it, from what I can see in the various versions of the cartoon. Got all that together, and then I need a receptacle to get the hot water in. They've said, and I've tried this before with backdrops, to do a cheap do-it-yourself backdrop for photography. You take a canvas, you kind of tie-dye it and let it sit and do that. Challenge is you need hot water, and you want to maintain hot water for 30 minutes to an hour for whenever you're soaking a material. And you're supposed to keep stirring the material so that you don't get cross patterns, so it's very consistent color. So I watched all this, did all this, and I said, well, in order to do this, I need a big pot to throw on my stove, essentially, and just keep it running. That way I keep the warm heat. But to go find a pot the right size for dyeing clothing, you need something about at least 20 quarts. which I'm trying to remember in liters what that translates to, but it's somewhere around like a was it like a 8 or 10 liter type of thing. So a decent sized pot, a good sized pot. Well, I went and I looked around all the regular stores to find them, and you can find some good pots, but they're about $50, $60 for about a 12 quart or something like that, which is just be about the right size, but not really big enough to easily maneuver the fabric.
Sure.
Well, we have a store in the area that focuses on not for your average home kitchen. It's a restaurant supply store that's open to the public. And I've been there once before, I went in this time, and they carry things on a mass scale. To put in, I don't know if I can put it in perspective. I threw out some pictures on my Facebook for people who've seen me there to check out, where in the pot aisle at least, the biggest one they had, I want to say was a 108 quart pot. It was big enough I could easily boil down you. Like I could put you in it, put a lid on it, and cook a full Ken. So it's quite
Nobody
a
wants
massive
to cook a full
pot,
Ken.
but very massive, right? And so I settled because that thing was about $300. Instead, on getting one a little more reasonable, I got a 24 quart, I think, pot, which is essentially.
Quarts are.
I know. I was trying to do the math. I need to look up to see what quarts to liters is. But it's a fairly large pot that sits on my stove and can hold many, many gallons of water. Anyhow, so I got that all together. I was so proud of myself because it's this big industrial aluminum pot. Like, brah, this is awesome. And put it all in, got it all boiled, or not boiling, but hot water, and I started dyeing my ghee top. Took it out, rinsed it in cold water, dried it, looked at the fabric, and darn it, this thing is like the lightest color I could imagine. And so I've been trying to re-dye it now. It's on its third iteration in the batch, and I've reduced the amount of water and kind of concentrated the mixture more to try to get it darker and darker. And I think I've realized what's going wrong. And that is that the dye also says specifically that you want to do it with only natural color or natural fibers. And I didn't check when I ordered this uniform or this martial arts outfit because I just got like the cheapest, biggest one I could. Mm-hmm. So I could modify it to be about the way I need it. But I think this one is a cotton polyester blend, which are the more inexpensive ones. And if so, that could help me understand why the color is not fasting like I hoped it would. So I may need to go back and buy an all cotton top, which is going to cost about 3 times as much, and then try to dye it. But at least I can find one that starts red. Maybe I could just dye it light brown with it to get that final color I need. Anyhow, so I've been learning and trying to figure out how to do cosplay. In doing so, I've also been playing, this slightly is geeky, I guess, but with the app Mercat, which is the video streaming app that's supposed to work with Twitter, where you basically start a live stream from your devices and go. And, no, not Hercule, it's Heracule, essentially. But if you look up Mr. Satan DBZ, you'll find it.
I know a lot of random facts about Mr. Satan, by the way. I don't know if you know, but him and his daughter, Videl,
yes,
both their names mean satanic words in English, if you take them. And if you look at the cars that they drive around in Dragon Ball Z and in Dragon Ball GT, they all have like number license plates with like 666 and stuff on them. So they're very, very evil for some reason, for no apparent reason.
Because Japan.
Because why not?
So yes. And so I'm going to try again, although I'm still attempting with this one, but I have a feeling this fabric's not going to work out. Yes, Copy, she's in the IRC berating me, saying, synthetics! No, I know, I need natural fibers, and so I didn't check when I ordered it, because I just said, oh, this is cheap, buy it! Because I think I got the whole ghee for like $20 shipped. I was like, sweet, where normally they're about 60 to 80. So I was like, oh, that'll be perfect. So anyhow, the nice thing is I can still use the white pants from it, which will be very light and thin, but then I'll probably have to get a new ghee top. Work on that. We'll see. So that's been interesting. And I took some videos, and I'll probably post them all together into one continuous video that shows my results of it. But I was playing with Mercat, and I figured that Mercat's kind of interesting, except that I never was on streaming long enough to get more than like 1 or 2 people watching me at a time. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with this step. I'm going to go away. And so I don't know if people kept trying to jump on the link or not. But I only ever had like 1 or 2 people watching while I was doing it. So I'll probably put them all together and post it as just a YouTube video.
I think most people don't know what it is as well. Mercat's kind of a unique rare thing at the moment.
Yeah,
right?
and so if you follow me on Twitter at DocDead, you can see when I start playing with this technology. I've got some ideas for how I could utilize it, and we'll see what I come up with. So anyhow, that was that. Other things I did. I tried to be industrious and work this weekend and not go out and do a million different things, but actually stay at home and do chores. Cosplay being one of them, picking up supplies for that, which I mostly succeeded in. I also tried to fix my truck. And by fix it, not really fix it so much as maintain it, my truck is very quickly reaching towards a magical number here in the U.S. of 200,000 miles that I've driven that truck almost, or that it has been driven. Of it, I've put in a good 20,000 of those myself. My brother had it before me, and so he did about 60. And so I'm almost up to, I'm at like 191,000 miles, and I'm about to hit 200. And so I decided to, when I drive it too long and it runs too hard, I start smelling some things where it's like maybe working a little hard. So I was going to try to maintain it and like change out the differential fluid, which I never have, and you're supposed to do it at 100,000 miles. So that's almost twice its lifespan. Transmission fluid, which I have changed out at least once, and then I added some brake fluid. I was going to do some power steering fluid, although I need to bleed my brakes and actually recycle that, because when I added the nice clean brake fluid, I got to watch this brown mass of the old stuff start to engulf it and make it part of itself. I was like, yeah, I should probably clean that. Anyhow, I went to do the differential, and the bolt that's on there that you're supposed to pull off to be able to fill it and get more in there, I guess since I haven't touched it in 20 plus years, it's kind of fused itself to being a solid piece of the differential now, and I was not able to pull it out. So, have some ideas. It may involve an impact wrench and such to get that out, but we'll see. Anyhow,
try a mechanic. They might have something for that.
That costs money more than just doing it myself. We'll see. Last ditch effort. I may have to schedule for other people to help me with this. So I'm just like, I can do it myself. Save money. It just takes time and dirty. But we'll see. That may end up being the option. I don't trust mechanics messing with my
car.
Yes, because I don't trust them to do it all to spec like I would, or be careful not to cross thread or strip bolts and crap like I'm careful about. Because too many people take them to mechanics and don't ever check their work, and then go figure mechanics can be lazy. But I know some I trust, and I may go that route. They also cost way too much. In lieu of that, I had time. Where since I wasn't spending all day doing that, I decided to go up and help. I got a last minute call out from a friend on Facebook saying they needed anybody with a truck. And so I was like, okay, I have a pickup truck right here. It's a little wee thing, but it works. Because they were trying to move apartments for one of their friends, and I was like, I could help. Why not? So I ran up to Boulder real quick yesterday and actually ran and helped them do some moving. About an hour drive, but no big deal. What was great about it, though, is this is a group of people I don't normally hang out with, but are also cosplayers that I know just from the convention scene and such. And so I thought it was pretty slick and cool to be able to hang out with some people outside of cons and just kind of say hey, and was treated to some awesome Tibetan food for lunch.
Oh,
which I've never
I had that while I was happy in Amsterdam.
Which, as we recall from Amsterdam, all the food there was amazing. At least your first night there.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. It seemed to decline. Even the same food wasn't as good the next day. But anyway.
But anyhow, so I mean that was a good experience. But it's just neat that I got to finally interact with some of these other cosplayers, because I like that I keep growing this network of people I know. Because the ones I got to hang out with yesterday were ones that know are good friends with other ones that I've started to hang out with a little bit. And so I'm slowly getting around these entire circles of these community cosplayers, which I really enjoy, because they're very cool and interesting people, very creative, fun people to be around. So that was neat. All right, other things I did. I watched 2 movies this week that I thought I would talk about real briefly. One of which, The Imitation Game. Have you heard of that one, Ken?
I have heard of it, but I have not seen it.
So that was the one that's I can never say his name right. Cumberbatch or whatever, or
Benedict. That's the thing. There's kind of meme going around online that you can say anything that's kind of close to it, and people will always know
who it is. Yes, one of the most talented.
Bumber Squatch Kimberquat. People know exactly what you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Just say anything.
Well, it's funny because that is a talented damn actor.
Oh yeah, he's good. He is good.
Well, and doing it after watching the movie, I actually went through and watched a bunch of YouTube videos about interviews he's done. And not realizing how much of a voice mimic actor he is. Well, if you ever want to have some fun, just look up some of his interviews about imitation. And he is able to pull off completely different accents and people in a way is
So he should.
Uncanny.
That's literally his job, right? Like his job is to be able to do funny voices.
Well, it's
As well
to
as
do
stuff that's
roles
funny,
and stuff, but to be able to mimic other actors to the way he does is surprising. Now, it's funny because one of the ones people really like to hear him do is Alan Rickman, or whatever, from Harry Potter's fame. And
Snape,
such.
yeah.
Snape, which is kind of a cheat because, I mean, they're very similar voices anyways. It's just he has to get a little more lethargic and moody, and then he's suddenly Alan Rickman. It's like, oh, there you go, easy. But he's got a much more diverse group things of that, and to the point of even doing characters. Like, he does on Graham Norton's show, or whatever, he did a really great Chewbacca.
Hey, nice.
You hear him do it, you stop, you kind of go like, wait, that was not just the roar, you hear a lot of people, but that was like legit. And his Jar Jar Binks, which is surprisingly good, and stuff like that. Anyhow, good times. He's a great actor. This movie, I really enjoyed, and it's one of those ones that, for geeks in general, I really suggest seeing it. It's one that speaks to one of the original founders of the way we see technology today, who has been so lost to history because of him being ahead of his time, both in his thoughts and unfortunately in his, I guess you'd say, lifestyle stuff, but being who he was. Because this took place during World War II, and it was all about trying to, and this isn't really a spoiler, but break the Enigma machine that the Germans were using for cryptology.
Sure.
And it was Britain's attempt to get in there and figure out a way to get it, because they grabbed hold of an actual Enigma machine, but you didn't just have to have a machine, you had to have the key to understand what codes were being sent.
Sure.
And so the story that tells, I forget the name of the character he plays, but The Imitation Game is about a group of the top cryptographers in Great Britain at the time trying to break through the Enigma to be able to fight the Germans. It's a wonderful story. It talks about a main character who was misunderstood at the time, and it just, and in the end of it kind of ends on a somber note as a whole, but I think it was a great watch. I was really surprised by it, and I recommend it for anyone. So I'll put it that it's geek-based. It's just like it's the beginning of the way certain technology was even thought about.
I've read a lot about cryptography, actually, because I was interested in going into penetration testing initially. And there's some freaking cool stuff going on there. That'll definitely, if it is based on all that stuff, that'll be a very interesting
It's based on true
read.
story. It's well written and stuff, and I liked the acting in it throughout. I thought it was a solid movie. The other one I went and saw was the new Furious 7. The new Fast and Furious movie. Action and car porn for all. So interesting that the series has already gotten up to 7. Oh, wow. But I say it like this. The first one was interesting and new, right? Fast and Furious 1 was a new concept. It was street racing. It was fun in the sense that it was just hot cars, hot women running around doing some craziness. That was cool.
Yeah.
I will say that 2, 3, 4, and 5 all got a bit like, that's interesting. Maybe fun, maybe, I don't know, but that's interesting. Some better, some less. I will argue that with 6, it seemed like they started to take themselves seriously to a degree. There's still the whole nonsensical, longest airfield in existence plane scene at the end of 6 that was just stupid. However, I argue the rest of that movie was pretty damn good. The final sequence was silly, but only for that aspect that it took forever for a plane to take off from the longest air field that doesn't exist in the world that would have stretched across a good portion of Russia in order to actually exist. But beyond that, entertaining movies. And they had a plot, they had some decent real action, good stars, The Rock and everyone getting involved. Well, this one was teased at the end of 6 with adding Jason Statham, which, for those who haven't seen the work he does, I think he's an amazing actor. He's another one that fits into that modern car action star kind of thing, a James Bond-esque role, but without being that serious. And so I think he fit with this whole Fast and Furious series, but especially because he plays the villain. And I don't see nearly enough, because he's usually kind of an anti-hero. But seeing Jason Statham play an actual no-crap villain was kind of refreshing. And the way he puts it in, he's a bit scary in the sense that he's just so direct, and they make him such a bad arse. And You'd appreciate it, Ken, because it basically plays like an SAS assassin that used to work for MI6 kind of thing, where he was the British, equivalent of just like the guy you take to go do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
And they make him out to be a complete badass in the movie.
Cool.
So it's like interesting. And then on top of that, they go through and do so much with cars. They find ways to incorporate some of the most exciting cars out there, and even do crazier things with them than you've seen in most places, which is just fun. And then include in it good acting and decent just action sequences. So I don't want to spoil any of it other than say that, like, I was reading a bit from Top Gear's website about some of the stats and things they use for the movie. Some of the things to know, if you've seen any of the previews in it, is that they used little to no CG in the entire movie. Almost everything you see, even the ridiculous over-the-top action sequences, are done with real vehicles. The only CG elements are some of the backdrops for some of the scenes that just you could not do. But that does not include one of the actual things they did in reality was drop those cars out of the plane multiple times. And so they have a scene where they show the cars parachuting into a thing. They did that multiple times with those cars, and so that really happened. And most of those cars survived. In fact, I think they only broke one or two of them on the actual landings on those. And it was funny because I found out that a lot of those scenes were filmed over Pikes Peak here in the United States in Colorado, where they dropped them off out of a military jet there, and to get some of the behind scenery scenes. So that was just kind of epic on its own. They ended up going through and like destroying most of a fleet of something like 350 vehicles that they used in the filming. A lot of them were modified, multiple versions of the same cars to do the kind of things, but a lot of the cars they destroyed were like background cars, things that other cars run into, cop cars, things like that. But even the main ones went through some ruckus. I'm trying to think some of the other neat parts of that. There was a scene in Abu Dhabi, I think, in Dubai. There's a scene in Dubai, which is, richest people have money to do things that are just stupid anyways. Sure. And in doing so, they had ridiculous cars to be seen, but a good majority of those cars in Dubai were people's personal cars from Dubai that they used in the movie. So they had and they had to have at least two of each that looked the exact same. So at one scene they all drive in like a Bugatti Veyron, a Lamborghini Aventador, basically just millions of dollars of cars, all they drive up in. And those are all local people in Dubai. It's just like, oh yeah, use my car. Oh, it's no problem.
That's cool.
Just like, gee whiz. Stupid stuff like that. But anyhow, so yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. I will not say it's a serious movie, but I do think they'd get a job with it. And the surprising thing for me is that for people who don't know, Paul Walker, the main actor in it, had passed away during the filming of that movie.
Yep.
They were able to complete the movie, and you would never know that he had passed away from the way it was filmed and the way the movie finished up.
People are really smart that way, yeah. I mean, I find that any film that's like that, even if, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger getting too old, or somebody passing away, or like even The Crow and stuff, right? There's so many famous examples of similar things. They always manage it, just because there's so many smart people behind these like fantastic films. They can just be like, what am I doing?
Well, some of the techniques, some of the techniques they use some footage that had never been released or wasn't used in the actual movies from the previous 6 films that they spliced together intelligently. They also had his 2 brothers work as stand-ins through parts of the movie to kind of get some of the shots and work with a little bit of CG to kind of make things blend. But for the most part, they were able to make a seamless movie, and it worked really well. I do warn people that towards the very end, it gets a little, thoughtful in the sense that Paul Walker did die, and it does at the very end say, for Paul kind of thing. But up until that, they basically hit the mark that I'd heard they did, which was to have an action event or sequence happen every 7 minutes through this 2-hour-plus movie. Oh, and I have to argue that they pretty much succeeded.
That's mental.
I was just like mouth agape at the explosions and flying cars and things like that consistently throughout the movie. It was entertaining. All right, so that's what I've been up to this week. That's not been True Geeky. Ken, on to you. What have you been doing?
I've been up to a fair little bit. Rather eventful week. Now, last week I mentioned there were some things I can't really talk about at the time. Now I can.
Oh, really? What has changed that you're now so free to talk about your life?
It's a bit complex, and I still can't talk fully about everything because I'm still in contracts.
Tease.
Nor will I be able to afterwards. However, let us begin. Let's look at the list. First of all, I gave myself a note to point out, Hando, get a haircut, you hippie.
Ha!
I say that because he's currently beating me in Hearthstone. Not that we would ever play that during the game. During the show.
As you were scoffing at me talking about Fast and Furious and going like, "Bruh, why would anybody watch that?" I'll play Hearthstone.
I'll have you know, I can bitch with Hearthstone at the exact same. Yeah. I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, careful.
Right. So the first thing I noticed in the show was that Hando's you need a haircut, man. Not because I'm just saying that because you're beating me at Hearthstone. I am. You may notice if you see me in the video wall right now or in the YouTube stream. I'm rather sunburnt right now. There's a reason for this. It's
You're
actually
a white
been
Scottish
sunny.
man, and you actually went out into the sun.
I didn't get stuck in a sun booth machine, a suntan machine. I actually went outside into the sun because it was sunny today. It hit something like 14 degrees centigrade, which is not that much, right? Like, considered most places in the world where it's warm, that is nothing. That is minimal. But we went and lay out in it for like an hour and a half or so. Nothing crazy, just went and enjoyed the sun, had a bit of food. Ken got a new cookbook this weekend as a gift from my mother, and she's been making the most of it. And that's very sweet and stuff. So we went out and enjoyed a meal out in the garden. And I'm actually sunburnt. Look at this. I am sunburnt from Scottish weather. This is weird.
You're gonna be the darkest you've ever been for a Scottish summer.
I know. Like, she's been saying like she wants us to move to Florida one day or like California or somewhere really hot. And I was like, if I'm getting burnt in this weather, if this weather is getting me pink, should I really be moving into like somewhere like that? No, I don't think so.
That'd be good for you.
So this Easter weekend, I've had all the chocolate. Well, we have received all the chocolate anyway. I'd like to thank my mother-in-law because it's kind of a funny story, and I kind of hope she's not listening because I'm going to tell the truth here. So what happened was we had two gifts from my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, she sent over 2 chocolate eggs, one for me and one for Kitten Features.
Okay.
And that was very kind of her. And what we did is we smashed them up together, put them in one box, and then we take a bit when we felt like it. And we both had about an even amount. Now I came through one night when her and her mother were Skyping. And it turned out, and damn it, Hando just beat me. It turned out that there was a joke going on that, oh, did you eat all the chocolate? And she's like, no, I didn't eat all the chocolate. And I joined in and I was like, yeah, she didn't let me have anything. I had absolutely nothing. Every time I tried it, she'd smack my hand away, sort of thing. And it was a joke. And then she said, oh, well, I just ordered you something. You'll see in a few days. And I was like,
okay.
Thank you. Crap! I did like we lied as a joke, right?
Okay.
It was a joke. I joined in the joke for comedic effect. Kitten said the joke for comedic effect. We haven't told her that we actually had a fair amount of chocolate. So if you're listening out there, I'll call you Mrs. B. I apologize for lying about chocolate, but it was to make you.
You were
laugh,
just trying to get more
that.
chocolate, weren't you?
Not at all. So I didn't know what she sent, to be fair, but it turned out it was chocolate. It was 5 or so Easter eggs, Thornton's ones, and I don't know the other Thorntons in the US, but it's a chocolate company in the UK, and they make good chocolate. So she spent a fair bit of money on getting us this, and I was like, oh, I feel so bad. She sent us all this nice chocolate. So we've been slowly eating through that. This guilty lie-filled chocolate. Full of good intentions on her behalf, but not on mine, so I apologize. All the chocolates, we've been going through that and it's taken a while, but that's how I'm enjoying my Easter weekend. Just loads of chocolate and sunburns. Now, on to the actual real news. I handed in my resignation to secret company, mysterious company Y on Monday. I have quit. I quit my job. I've got 3 weeks left in my contract, but I've quit my job.
So what Ken's trying to say is, if you guys haven't already started to look at ShowX's Patreon account, you really should look at potentially wanting to help showcase and support the show, as he's going to need someone to be the support mechanism in the house. and it's obviously not going to be him. Oh wait, that's
Patreon.com/showx. Not that you have to do it on those reasons. Genuinely, I mean, please don't do that. But on those reasons, do it in general. But don't do it on those reasons. So the reason for it is because, all this time of all these copy emails and people just continually saying Dr. Lord Reverend Kenneth Neil Reid II, I thought to myself, I can't lie to these people. I can't just keep lying to them. So I'm going for a PhD. I've been accepted and I begin May 1st. I'm going to become, hopefully, if I do everything correctly and actually manage it, I am going to be Dr. Kenneth Reid in 4 years' time, May 1st. That's the plan. So, yep, I applied for it last month. I've been going through the process, interviews and stuff, and I can tell you that was hella tough. But because a mix of perseverance, I did a lot of research on the stuff I need to do. I read a lot of papers. I'm also good friends with a lot of the faculty, which having contacts, guys, is the number one thing with anything you do in life. If you know a guy,
not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah,
silly
really
how that
is.
continues to come up.
It is so true. So whether it's you trying to find a job, trying to get into a PhD program, whether you need to move house and get somebody with a truck, whatever it may be, is about who you know, right? You can save yourself a lot of money, time, and effort, and gain a lot of benefits just by being a good friend and having good friends, right? So I have a lot of friends and faculty at this uni because it's the same uni I went to before, the University of Stirling, and so the guy who was interviewing me said that he asked around the staff and he said everybody had nice things to say about me. Everybody said that I was always the volunteer for all the stuff in classes and stuff, and it'd be a pleasure to have me back as a staff member. So I'm actually going to go back to work there. So I'm not just going in as a poor student again. I did not just do this because our intro now doesn't need fixed again.
Exactly. Thank you, Ken, for putting us back to a point where you're going to be in student accommodations yet again. See,
yeah, well,
it's like anything. You just wait it out long enough, and then you don't have to fix anything.
Yeah. This solves so many problems. That's the real reason. No. So now that I'm leaving this job, does that mean I need to bring in just a treat, perhaps, for my fellow employees and old managers? Perhaps, say, some sugarless Haribo gummy bears? Maybe.
All depends on how much.
Bowls of them.
All depends on how much you like ex-coworkers, or not.
Maybe I could let them soak in prune juice first as well.
Oh, trust me, not needed.
Look at that face. That is the face of somebody with experience. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be. It's gonna be a kind of busy next couple months. I have configured this carefully to take in mind, firstly, getting to do the work as I move over there into Stirling again, as we move house, as we move town. The time zones don't quite lapse correctly with us leaving this place for our accommodation opening in the house we're going to, which, by the way, is where we used to live. So I'm going to have the same backdrop, same internet as before. See how that goes, by the way. Oh, man.
So I was watching a show today. I could have swore I was watching a show from, 2 years ago or something.
Like 4 years ago, right? I mean, genuinely, 4 years ago we were doing the show in the same house. I'm going back to the exact same place. But the times don't line up when we're leaving there when that place opens up, so I'm going to be couch surfing with some friends in the meantime. You all know Graham. I'll be staying with him for a while, so he'll probably... So the plan is, Ken's going to stay in our current house. I'll come back at the weekends. I'll be couch surfing during the week.
Yes.
Then eventually we'll move into the new place. Now, the idea is I'm going to be very careful with ISPs. I've moved around a lot in the past few years, so I know how it works. I'm going to aim to have the show up and running as soon as I'm back with the new house.
Okay.
In theory, I'll have internet. If that works out or not, we'll see. But in theory, everything will be working fine. I'll be back here for the weekends anyway, so for the next month and a half, in theory, nothing's going to change. And then it'll be a fluid, no problem, move over. Whether that happens or not, we'll wait and see. But in theory, it'll all be fine. So there should be no interference with the show.
We hope it works out, to say the least, because we don't need more things to hamper what we already do. We have enough.
Cup checking the hours. He says, "Go for it, son! Good luck, sir! You can do it!" Smiley face. Thank you very much. And Hando says, "Haribo bears in X-Lax chocolate." Indeed. So with that, I begin in 3 weeks. I'm going to have 1 week off where we can actually prepare some stuff to get stuff moved over. And lastly, the last random thing I want to mention is we have the Geek Retreat thing in 2 weeks today. So what's going to happen is Wayne here is going to host the show as normal.
So that it doesn't just instantly break.
Yes, so we can actually have video and such. Again, in theory, it should be working fine. The only thing that's going to be different is I'll be Skyping in from my laptop instead of my main rig, and it's going to be from a different Wi-Fi in Geek Retreat, which is a comic book store / general geekery retreat, right? We're going to be hosting from there. They're going to have a closed door policy, so only members can come in, only select ones will be on the show. We'll hopefully set up, in an ideal world, it'd be set up so that everybody there could hear us and hear the show while we're doing it, while at the same time being there doing the show without interfering with the feedback and stuff. Now, what will actually happen, I could quite easily see it going to just the people who are on the show at the time hear it through headphones, and there's a microphone. And
well, hopefully you can do a splitter and put it to a set of speakers that are further back.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And that would work and just kind of keep their volume down a little bit. That would work out nicely.
Well, that wouldn't actually work. That wouldn't actually work either, because then they wouldn't hear me easily without setting up more audio repeaters and stuff. So what I'm going to do,
or just stream the show.
I'll probably have a sec. I'll bring like my phone or something and just let it stream the show and put that through a set of speakers or whatever.
Yeah,
but face the speakers away so that there's no interference.
So
we'll wait and see though.
And get the 30 to 60 second delay that will make everybody go, what?
Yeah, that's the point, actually. That'll be pretty fun. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting, kind of an experimental show. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be speaking to people in the Geek Retreat. Geeks around Scotland, geeks around Glasgow, and see what they've been up to. Some specialities, including My Little Pony, Magic the Gathering, general tabletop gaming, video games, comic book geeks, so on and so forth. There's going to be a large variety of people there who will be interested in coming on and giving their little piece, giving their 5 minutes of medium amount of fame. So that'll be fun. So look forward to that, guys. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Your feedback during it will be very much appreciated. But with that has been my week in non-geek, and we're actually, well, look at this. We're actually before the break doing this.
Somewhat early for a change. Well, that's all right, because we'll do a few things with that. However, actually, this one's totally appropriate for today. I'm getting music set up for the break, and I'm going to get one that I think is totally appropriate for today. Because I do want to share in your comments of saying, happy zombie day.
Yeah. Happy Zombie Jesus Day, everybody.
And for all that it's worth. But along with those lines, I think what we could do to start things off is go right into our emails that we have before the break for a change. And see if that will take us up to the break today.
Sure.
So, we've got two sitting in there right now already.
Cool.
As much as Copy warned us or said she might, has not sent said email in.
Copster McCoppington.
Yeah, we'll already go ahead and start with our first today, which says, this comes in saying Geek Cred, so a little early for us, because normally we do this after the break, but yes.
Greetings. Just let it drop and then it'll work.
Okay, I have to do two things. I have to go...
I'm breaking things.
No, you're fine. I just do this, I do this, I do this.
I'm a geek. Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
And we start off with, greetings, supreme high rulers of the internet. Agrius SW here again to share my week in things geeky. Last week, my loving girlfriend Ambrosia and I submitted the latest squad of 40k minis to monthly painting contest at our local Games Workshop store, and she managed to win 3rd place. And to top it off, yesterday we gave them to my friend to add to his own orc army and as his birthday gift. He was truly blown away by how they came out and will be giving more work for my girlfriend. Now to the main event! Yesterday, Ambrosia, myself, and our friends all got together to hang out, and we all played Cards Against Humanity. And let me tell you, it was epic! We all laughed so much it began to hurt, but in the good way. In the end, I was the winner, but most importantly, we all had a good time at showing what horribly great people we are. Thank you for the great shows you put out each week, sirs. Good sirs, keep it up. Shoutouts to Ambrosia Hartnett, Mega Man 91985, Watto Girl, and Zawarsman. So I believe all the people that were playing the Cards Against Humanity. That coming to us from Agris SW, level 100 human paladin from the Guild Civil Warcraft Shattered Hand US, the Paladin of Ambrosia Hartnett. Thank you, as always, Agrius. We love getting your updates. Ken, would you like to take the next one?
Sure, but just FYI, I've been looking at. I just typed in Cards Against Humanity online, so I was just curious if we could ever have a little silly, mature segment on the show we could do, and messing around me one night or whatever. We could try that. And
when we put on the NSFSW link or whatever to say, hey, guess what? We would be cursing tonight.
So this one, here's a random example just to see if how good it is. I think this is their like test ones that are not actually released, so they're thinking about releasing them.
Okay.
By the way, the black card says, I never truly understood blank until I encountered blank. And I'm going to say, oh geez, I don't know which ones I can say without really offending people. This one's only slightly offensive. I never truly understood pooping back and forth forever until I encountered Daniel Radcliffe's... no, I can't say it. Because I actually made sense. Damn it, I had a good one.
Well, so some of the best things you can get from Cards Against Humanity, we should all know as fans and members of this podcasting community and gamers alike, that you can always play online for free with Pretend You're Zixie. It has most of the card decks, including a lot of expanded decks available for everyone to play. You can get online, create a password-controlled room if you need, and just go and have fun. We used to do that a lot of our after the show gaming nights, just because everyone can get on in a web browser. Also, having the cards directly is amazing, and I've known a lot of people that have actually built their own decks, and I keep meaning to grab a bunch of the ones I have downloaded to go get printed off professionally to fit in with the decks I already have. In fact, there's even a local Colorado cosplayer deck that has come out, where I had heard some of the examples of it because some of the people I know who cosplay were talking about it, and one of the ones that came up that if you're in Colorado, you absolutely know, Lieutenant Fork and I were talking about it, one of the people used the pink Hello Kitty Samurai. Because every con, there's a guy who has this full suit of samurai armor that's pink. He's a little Asian guy, and it's encrusted with all kinds of little Hello Kitty stickers and stuff all over it, and it actually looks really professional. So it's not like it's some slapstick one or something, but it's just funny to see this little Asian guy in this little pink Hello Kitty samurai armor.
All right, that's cool.
So when you see it on the Cards Against Humanity deck, it's like, I know that guy! Absolutely! Yeah, so that was kind of fun.
I fixed it, by the way. I never truly understood pooping back and forth forever until I encountered Neil Diamond's greatest hits.
Okay. See, I would say until I encountered sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. But so the sad part is I can come up with legitimate white card answers for most anything now because I've played that game far too many times. Sure. I've memorized large portions of the available cards. So
we do actually have a copy mail come in now. We've now got 2 emails to go through. So
right. So sir, next mail.
Yeah, let's do it. This is from Happy Dude 2, aka Cupcheck.
Yes.
He's got both as a signature now. Hey, that's what I put. I told you I had stories to share, and boy, do I have a story to share. On the 3rd day of Mid-South Con, I was in ultimate recovery mode, and a friend of mine, Sean, decided to mess with me. Coming off of the elevator, he stopped to me and said, boy, you had fun last night. You got in hell a lot of trouble. So I started playing back the night in my head, and I responded, can you tell me what happened? Because I can't recall the night clearly. And he said, go on. This guy's a straight edge as it gets, and his head gets bigger and bigger. His eyes get bigger and bigger. I heard about a room party on the 27th floor, so I went in with a vendor to the 27th floor and had 7 different drinks with moonshine. I went to the smoker's patio, got dragged to the beer suite.
There you go. Yes.
That means something entirely different if you say you got drugged somewhere.
No, it should be drugged somewhere versus drugged somewhere. If you got drugged somewhere, that makes sense. So you physically got moved. You got drugged somewhere, it usually means someone slipped something into your drink.
And it means somebody else had a really good night, yeah. I got drugged to that's a horrible joke. I got drugged to the beer suite and had 3 beers. Then I bought a $9 pack of smokes from the hotel store. Went back out to the patio, went to go check on a friend of mine who was back at the room party on the 27th floor. Okay. And he handed me another shot of moonshine on the way out. I think the main point is he drank and smoked a lot so far, right?
Yeah.
And he was going back and forth all over the place. Then I went to an epic Cards Against Humanity game. Oh, this is a recurring theme tonight, isn't it? Then played Are You a Werewolf?
Okay.
When I started drinking, it was 10. When I started drinking, it was 10 p.m. And right before I went to sleep, it was 5 a.m. What were you doing? He said, "I was sleeping," and walked away. So my liver is still kicking my ass, and this is why I only drink at conventions with some of my closest friends. Cub check. Yep, that's understandable. Sounds like you've had a very good time. And I thought he was going to say something along the lines of, "Do you not remember that Polish one-legged pirate hooker?"
See, the problem is it's a failed opportunity to lead a story astray. Where it's like, well, yeah, I saw you having the drinks. It was when you got up on the table that everything really started to get interesting, and they kind of go like,
checked your ass this morning? Where it says Dr. Kenneth Neil Reed the second, third major,
Only? So,
anyway, one more.
Thank you very much, Cupcheck. We always enjoy your anyone's stories about the good fun they have while out geeking. So thank you for that, and never stop. Keep bringing us more. All right, this one titled, appropriately, Copy Mail. Hello there, Mr. Wayne, and Dr. Lord Reverend and Bachelor of Science, Kenneth Neil Reed II. This weekend was more eventful than the entirety of March. Aw. I got the majority of my Kuroa costume cut and sewn, which literally went from 0 to 60 in terms of percentage of work completed. I got the contact lenses and wig from... Really? Why do you have these things? For my Junana Go number 17 cosplay. So that's DBZ number 17, Android. Why you have to throw Japanese words in. And got fabric paints for my shoes and red ribbon logo. I still have to get fabric paint for my shoes. Lastly, I pre-ordered the next wave of amiibos because I loves them. The entirety of my childhood neatly packaged into individual character boxes. We have 35 so far, and I can't wait for Charizard, Jigglypuff, and Greninja to join the party. Catface. Happy news for me! Not that anyone else in this community cares, Mewtwo will be available as DLC in Smash 4 on April 15th. He's going to be paid DLC to most, but we get him for free because we bought the games for both console and handheld. I miss my snuggly psychic kitty clone. Also, see, kitty clone, I need your kitty.
How many times is that? You've never wondered to yourself, how many times has this sentence been said in the world, right? I've missed my snuggly psychic kitty clone. That's something that's a bit rare, right? I don't.
You say that.
I bet it has been said before. I bet it has.
I would say it depends on your community.
Yeah.
In some areas, that phrase would be pretty commonplace. Also,
that's true.
Chibi is matching my costume progress now. Despite living on the other side of the country, we still sit and craft together when we have overlapping time off. It greatly motivates me to have someone else working alongside you, not just for the company, but for brainstorming, troubleshooting, and the like. Nothing non-geeky today. Seriously, I have nothing but crafting while watching Slayers and listening to the Slayer soundtrack, which lasts for many, many hours. 20 years of Slayers leads to lots of music. Bye for now. Much love, the original copy. And it's actually been fun because as Copy's been cosplay or crafting, and I've been working on various things, including editing photos from Scotland, because I realized they still haven't been posted anywhere. I think I'm just about at the end of the reception. And then I get to get into, the rest of my trip through Scotland. So hopefully I'll get that done sooner than later. But
hey, that'd be cool. That'd be a random flashback to several months ago.
Exactly. So as I've been working on those, I've also been watching Slayers on the side because I has one of, I'm sure, many copies of the movies from Copy sitting here, of her copies of Slayer. And so I've been watching.
It's anime.
I've been watching those for the same time, and it is a entertaining little side thing to have going while watching, as well as other things I've been watching, which I'll get into my own Geek Cred section. But what we are going to do is take a break now. It won't be a very long one, but it's going to have, I believe, appropriate music in there from our good friend of the show, Molly Lewis, for today. It'll be a bit rambunctious and quick, and we'll be back very shortly. Hopefully just long enough to refresh and a drink and then get back here. So, with that, you're listening to Show X on VTWProductions.com, and we will be back after this short break and a song from Molly Lewis.
Send in your emails to
literally a
showx at
minute
VTWProductions.com.
Hi, this is Nicole Marie Jean, and you're listening to VTW Productions.
to Show X on VTWProductions.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. Don't mind that Kenneth is not back yet. I told him I kind of apologize. Like, yeah, so the song I chose is kind of short, so it'll be back in just a moment. I was like, you got 1 minute run. I made it. He did not. So that, because on this holiday, if you call it however you celebrate, one of the things that happens is a lot of different candies are out there and everywhere for people to deal with, and this is one where often a lot of people consume the novelty sugary sweet called Peeps, which I think a lot of people...
She said, please get me some water. I was like, I don't have time. She's like, why not? Lying in the bath, but I can't get it. And I was like, so I ran as quickly as I could, but
you're back. You're back, and that's all right. You only missed like 30 seconds or so of the show. But that's all right. I was just telling everybody that because I played a Peep Fight from Molly Lewis, because it's this season you often see Peeps in the store as one of the novelty kind of sugary confections that people can consume, and so I thought it was appropriate for today, although a very short song indeed. Anyhow, so now it is proper for us to talk about our geek cred for the week. So Ken,
okay, but do we have to announce it as such? Our geek cred.
should I just say geek cred?
Sure. How about Copy says it?
Well, she said it before the break. I was trying to decide if I should
but
play it
I
again.
like it though. I like it.
Oh, okay.
I'm a geek. Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
See, I wasn't sure if I should play it again. I was actually looking to see if I had another version of that I had cut as a drop-in, but I don't think I do. And so I was like, I don't want to play the same one, but there it goes.
Like,
all right.
When we're thinking about redoing the show, any show stuff, like we're talking about like we're doing more background music or new intros for stuff, I'd happily get a new intro for the show itself. I don't think I can replace Copy's drop-ins though. I like them too much. I don't think we can ever get rid of them.
Yes, and since I don't know if I would ever be able to rope her down, since we never seem to be able to get her to record anything else for us.
True.
I have to keep what little bit of gold we have. And
It is gold though. It is.
Yes, quite enjoyed. And I went in the break and pulled for those in the video to see what's left of my pounds of Harbo gummy bears. And so, this is what a little less than 5 pounds of gummy bears looks like. So I'm not going to have any.
I don't even like
show.
gummy bears. They're like the most boring sweet. I mean, there's so many good sweets out there, but that's just boring.
Oh, it's one you can just kind of snack on while you're doing things. It takes a little while to chew, which is nice. Anyhow, are we continuing with the theme of me going first today, sir, or would you like to take over for what you've been doing, Geek Cred?
Yeah, can do. I was just picking up some articles for the next section. I'll go first. Sure. Let's see. I'd like to actually. Are you ready for this one? This is the part where it's going to break everything.
What can I do for this one? Yeah, I'll get it to work somehow.
I'll quit Hearthstone.
Oh, dude.
So, there's this thing I've been working on, because I am silly. Basically, what this is my desktop has a couple of extra features.
All right, so this is a prime time for anyone who's not watching the video, because this is going to have a video link to it, to jump in and check out today's video stream so that you can see what Ken is talking about.
So, you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Boom! This is my current desktop. So, what I've done is I added this little thing called
Dreamscapes. Thinking really hard
Dreamscapes.
about it, but... So, just a second, I'm going to get it so that it's fully visible. And I'm going to turn on my... Just so everyone just sees what's on your desktop right now.
Okay, that's
So
cool.
that's going.
I probably should have hidden my IP addresses, but anyway.
No, well...
no, I'm going to get random, like,
As everyone
pings
now,
and stuff.
like, DDoSes you.
Yeah. So what I've got here, and it's a little bit broken still, but in the background there's a Dreamscape. Dreamscapes are basically the ability to make your wallpaper
Animated.
a video.
Yes.
That used to be a feature in Windows Vista, I want to say. And it's
I thought
one
it was
thing
an
that wasn't...
XP. I thought it was an XP because I remember having that before, where I had live video backgrounds. They did this kind of. I think it was an XP and probably carried on to Vista as one of their, like the Microsoft Essentials now, but it was kind of like their add-on pack you could get.
Yeah. What you can do is you always be able to make a web page your background, right? So what you can always do is load a video in that, but then it's still clickable and interactive. In this, it's not interactive. There's video and audio from it. I've killed the audio now. I've muted
Thank
it.
you.
But basically, I've just got this looping video in the background, which looks cool. I've got several different ones I can choose from. Now, again, I want to be very careful going through all my files here.
Yes, let's see what's on Ken's computer.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite one actually. This one here. This is the ISS, the International Space Station, flying over Earth. This is an actual video of our planet, and you can see the beautiful aurora in the distance. And I think it's actually going from North America to South. I think you can kind of tell by the sort of like declining width in the middle there, and you can see all the lightning striking stuff. It's a really cool video, but I have it on loop, so it looks really nice. Then on top of this, I have a bunch of widgets. Now the generic Windows widgets are terrible, right? They suck. So I've killed all of them. I've actually uninstalled it because I hate it so much. And I've instead installed Rainmeter. Now Rainmeter allows you to add custom, and you can make your own if you're any good at coding and stuff. Your own little custom widgets. So you can have things like at the bottom left there, I've got all my system info, including network info, my WAN IP, uptime. So my PC's been over 7 hours.
You've got a calendar at the bottom. You've got
I've got calendar
temperature in the bottom right. You've got the calendar in the top right. Oh, yes.
Now, actually, what's really interesting, and I forgot to say up right now, let me do that as we speak. Try speaking.
Hello.
Oh, it's not bouncing. I've got this thing here set to bounce. Well, basically what it does is whenever it detects audio, the levels show up here as well. It works with music.
Oh, so it kind of gives you a whole like equalizer type setup for any music stuff you're playing.
But because I've kind of messed with it recently, it's not working. I could edit it, but it's not really worth doing.
Yeah, not during the show. We found things break when you do that.
Got a little calendar. Oh, not pretty fast. A little calendar up there, some audio, and I can mute my audio down here as well and change levels and stuff. So it's just a cool interactive.
Yeah, no, it's a great customization. It's something that originally kind of came off of how customizable Linux is, and how these were the kind of things that first started in that community. That all the Linux Unix guys were always and still do hold it against us who are not. That they have such an epic way of doing things because they can set up whatever they want because it's Linux. For whatever it's worth. And so, yeah, they do that, and it's kind of like, while very cool and admittedly jealous, because I did do some of the same thing you're doing, except I found that with my 3 monitors, it was kind of a pain in the butt for me to get it all to work kind of how I want. So instead, I've just gone to the point of doing, not Dreamscapes. What do I use? I use Display Fusion. And the main reason I don't have any custom widgets anymore, because those also were kind of their own resource nightmare. And things would break randomly, but instead I have I have my Display Fusion, which allows me to do the one thing I've always wanted with my 3 monitors, is have a different background on each monitor. So as they randomly update for my big background directory I have, where there's a lot of League of Legends shots, some photos I've taken, things like that, cool things I found around the web, it changes them all as it goes forth, and I love that. And then as well as, and I don't know if you're going to stop sharing at your desktop or you're just playing, but... I
will do it in a second. While we're still discussing the topic, I'm going to try and fix it. But continue.
I'll let you do it. If you do get it how you want it, let me know. I have you minimized down so they can still see your screen, but they see me at the same time. But in doing so, it was so much of a nightmare. The one thing I would like to see added still, and I admit that I'm a unique use case, I'm not the everyman, I wish I could have both random images come up on all 3 of my desktops, but tie images together so that if I cut one of the images I had, or if I had one specifically designed for the 3 monitors resolution,
sure,
I could have one epic landscape one come up together, and yet still have it rotate between other images. Like I could group certain images, so when it hit that one, the 3 would come up together and it would be properly formed. And then when it went away, it could be the others.
My dissertation actually touched on a lot of that. So back when I did my uni project for finishing my first degree, oh wow, I can see there's a beautiful sunset outside. Wow, it's all pink. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm not really distracted by that. That's cute. That's really cool. So what I did is I made a little program which you could send an image from your phone over to your Mac, right? So an iPhone to a Mac. So it's Objective-C based program to an Objective-C based program, and you can set your wallpaper and stuff. But since I sort of entered that spectrum of sending wallpapers, I saw all the back-end code for that. You can actually make it just go through the loops that says, check how many monitors there are. For each monitor, do this. If there are several, only set on this one, or set on that one, or set for all three. So it's entirely possible to do. And if you had a Mac, if you had a Mac, I could make a little program for you in like less than 5 minutes. But because it's Windows, I don't really know my way around.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know the back end
so
that would take for Windows. And like Kuro was saying, so that's key. It's possible. You just have to know how to code it. I don't know how to code it, so I rely on others that have already built programs to do most of the work for me. I'm really good at finding those programs, and that's kind of my skill, but actually coding it myself, nope, not there. Although I would like to learn some Python here eventually and automate most of the things that go on the station, because I have so many ideas. Anyhow. But, no, very cool. Like I said, I used to love when those backgrounds are. I remember when Windows first had them, and I had, like, the little nature ones with trees going back and forth and a little bee flying around. In fact, it was way back enough that when I had my video camera, I had taken a cruise once, and I purposely took a video of waves crashing against the side of the boat. Because it was repetitive enough, I could find a way to loop it so that it would look like infinite. Just for the reason of having that as a background, and I just never did.
That'd be cool.
Shucks.
I put a link to a little bit of VB code if you're interested, which can actually change the wallpaper on Windows. So that'd be where I'd start. But there you go.
So yeah, Kuro. How about that, Hacker Man? Totally could do that. Anyhow,
I could possibly throw something together, but it would take a bit of time.
you're gonna have a week off here eventually, so.
We've got a couple people asking if they can call in during the show. By the way, we've had 2 people ask so far.
Of course they can. It's whether I answer it or not. No.
If you're interested in calling the show, we might answer VTW shows.
Well, and one of the things that they're also talking in the IRC that's appropriate to bring up is this last week was also April Fool's. And one of the things they're asking is, was there any epic things that we saw that were April Fool's related? Because there's certain sites that always do it and have some better than others. One of the favorites I have is always ThinkGeek.
Sure.
Because ThinkGeek will not only do the April Fools, but they will sometimes produce whatever they fooled with as actual items that you can buy. This one I think would be a little more difficult from what they did this year. Some of the ones of note for me were big ones were the steampunk, steam-powered console control or console gaming system. Essentially, it was like an Xbox, and they'd made all the pieces of it all steampunkish. And then from that, they had made it so it was like steam-powered. Little boiler going, little steam coming out the top, steam-powered controller. It looked epic. Other ones was they made the Mad Max Road Warrior Power Wheels for kids.
Cool.
And so it was like, Power Wheels. Those little powered cars.
That's cool, yeah.
But totally Mad Max out with like skulls and blades and stuff all over.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Jokingly say at the end, like, with working Gatling gun on the top, and they have this little girl going like, stuff like that. Just lots of fun things that they always put up there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Speaking of the Lord on this Sunday, Easter Sunday, have you seen Copy's eyes? Made me crap myself.
Dude, I can't see anything because I'm not on Video Wall because I have to, stream the show.
I could screen share again, but let's not do that. That gets weird. She's got these contacts in which make her have like not Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, White Walker eyes.
Oh, she's got some whiteout eyes. Awesome.
Oh yeah. It's freaky.
I has those. I have some of those from my Storm cosplay.
Yeah, don't wear them randomly. They're creepy.
Oh, contacts are
I
great.
did the red ones for Vampire on Halloween. Yeah, they're horrible. They burn your eyes slowly. I guess all lenses do though. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. I got confused a little bit. Startling.
See, I'm so mad that I don't get to see what you guys get to see. Anyhow, other things that are going on. Let's see. Oh, so other things that happened April Fools. One of them was that I also thought was probably the favorite one for me because there was random little things. Like I saw a little one from racing people that said like, out in some state they're going to outlaw the Miata from racing because in autocross and stuff like that. Just stupid stuff. One of the ones I actually really liked was I am looking forward to, and I don't know if you follow it all, Ken, the new Deadpool movie that's in works. That's Ryan Reynolds.
I've seen the couple of trailers, well, the main trailer, right? But I've not really paid much attention otherwise. But I'm interested though. So
with that, and let me do this, and haha, we have someone joining us. But with that, in the new Deadpool movie, basically Deadpool's being this Marvel character that is completely over the top and ridiculous, and is kind of one of those that's let's see, hey, it does work that way, and it's one of those that he's kind of the anti-hero and a comic relief across the Marvel universe, and is a bit over the top. Well, they released a trailer on April Fool's that was an interview with Ryan Reynolds with like Mario Lopez from Entertainment Tonight or whatever show he's on, talking about the movie and how excited it was as being made and stuff like that. And one of the things that Mario put out there was like, so it's really cool that I saw that you guys at the studio is going to try their best to make sure the movie stays PG-13. And which Ryan's kind of like, well, yeah, no, we really want to try to make sure the entire audience sees. Like, but don't worry, there's still going to be a Deadpool movie. I mean, he's like, no, he's like, oh yeah, it's good you make it family friendly. He's like, oh, I wouldn't call it family friendly, but yeah, we're going to do our best to make it, a Deadpool movie.
Sure.
And then what you see is as this happens, you see behind Mario Lopez where he's on the seat, you see Deadpool walk past him. And then like he walks back carrying like a big stage light. And then he turns around, and as Mario's saying whatever, he turns and takes the stage light and just like beats Mario Lopez down with it. Basically killing him with it. And proceeds to drop a few expletives and say, "Are you effing kidding me? Of course Deadpool's going to be rated R."
Nice.
Like,
that's sweet.
There's no chance we're going to do, PG-13. That's the stupidest thing ever. And then holds up a little sign and says, "It's okay, Jesse. Slater can't hurt you anymore," which is referencing back to the Saved by the Bells day where Mario Lopez got famous and his character used to date Jesse on that show all the time. So, anyhow, I thought that was one of the more entertaining April Fool's jokes that I saw during it. Anyhow, outside of that, we have just had 2 guests join us today on the show. So we have both our good friends Hando and Cupcheck, or Happy Dude 2, depending on which we want to say best. And so, how are you two gentlemen doing today?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you? I'm doing great. I just called in with a little bit of geek cred that I haven't shared with you guys for a while because of the massive amount of guests that have been showing up lately on the show.
I'm sorry. We could stop inviting people. I mean, I do have a couple authors that I have promised to be on the show, and a game developer that I work around that's supposed to come on the show making some indie game. And I mean, I do want to get the double clicks on, but
deadlines
we can stop. Yeah, we can make sure no more guests. We can make sure no more guests.
George R.R. Who? What? Anyway.
hey, J.R.R. Martin did say that he is trying desperately to get the next Game of Thrones book done by next year.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
True.
That's a report that came out.
That's the word on the streets. Anyway, there he is. Cup check. Anyway, so I wanted to share a couple points of geek cred, and then I'll get off so that Cup check can get on. So I have a massive amount of cred saved up from Audible.com. Because I had a subscription for like a year and a half that I never actually used. So I called them up and I said, now because it's not actually like an ad on the show anymore. I don't think. So
they are actually kind of they do support us.
We we just haven't really actively pushed it.
I'm gonna help them out by offering a little tweak that you can do to your account. So I had the $10 a month thing. I called them up and I said, hey, I really shouldn't be paying for this. I'm not using it a lot. And they said, well, you can go to the $10 a year plan, and you still have all of the 13 credits that you have from your account from before. So I was like, okay, sign me right up. I mean, $10 a year, I could deal with that. So I listened to a couple of Star Wars books, which I've always been a fan of, and then I thought, well, I need to do something that's a little bit more intellectual, not so sci-fi, pulp fiction stuff.
Why would you need to do that?
I listened to. So I was thinking like, oh, you know what? I remember that movie Contact, Carl Sagan with Jodie Foster. You know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna listen to that. Oh. Dude, the nerdgasms in that book, it's so good.
See, I was going to say, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, dude, it's so...
Somebody capture all of Hando's noises there, just the continual...
Yeah, that might have to become like the next, drop-in or something.
I'll do it myself if you want.
It's like, yeah.
Intro, just
The here's
minutes
what
of
here's what Grandpa Hando thinks about Show X. Oh.
You know
Again.
that I might have to make that happen.
Again, not sure if he's disgusted or really happy about it. I don't know. maybe a bit of both, you know.
So everyone should read this book, and when I say read, listen to it on Audible, because save your eyes for video games.
It all counts.
But man, the story is so good. There's so much. Like I want to just give it away because if you guys have seen the movie, there's a part where the main character actually like makes contact with the alien civilization in like a simulation where she's like on the ocean, or not on the ocean, but on the beach.
I know what you're talking about.
Have you guys seen it?
I have.
Okay. So there's so much more of what goes on when she actually speaks to the alien dude that they never show in the book or in the movie. In the movie, it's just like, oh hey, there's a guy that looks like my dad, and he puts some sand in his hand, and it looks like a circle, and okay, great, and bye. Okay, see you later, dude. The story I want to tell you guys so bad, but I won't give it away. I mean, if you guys do plan on reading the book, but so
I do not
good,
have
so
the
much,
Pottergate drop-in ready, so no.
Okay. Anyway, so I recommend everybody get that on Audible. Get an Audible account and get that book because it's awesome. Let's see a couple other things. Did you guys see? Now I thought that this was a April Fool's joke, but it's still there. So I think it's actually legit. But Steam is doing a thing where they're actually experimenting with original like video.
Okay.
Like they're doing a thing.
They've done a few video things on Steam because they did they have a couple movies that are out on Steam that you can download. They've got one that was talking about Dota 2 and stuff like that, and there's a couple out there.
But was this like an actual production, like an actual like story with a set and
Well, this was like a documentary they had done about RTSs and the gamer thing. So they've done stuff like that before, and I think they have a whole lineup that you can. Essentially, you can download it just like you do a game. You double click on it, and it opens up a movie.
Yeah. This one looks like it's actually like a small mini movie, and it's called Motivational Growth. And I can only compare it to if you guys have seen the really terrible, awful movie, The Naked Lunch.
No.
It's a terrible movie. Don't watch it. It's I know it's based off of a famous book, but the movie is very, very gross. But anyway, Motivational Growth, that this Steam movie is extremely gross. It's about a guy who sits in his apartment, never leaves. I guess he plays video games a lot, and the mold in his apartment starts talking to him. And there's scenes like where he's vomiting, and there's like guys covered in blood, and so I thought it was an April Fool's joke, but I looked it up again and it's still there. So I guess they're actually going on with it. But it's very subversive, you know, kind of like ew, icky, you know, like he's like always wearing a t-shirt and underwear, and he's always talking to the mold in his room, and so I mean it looks like it could be kind of interesting. I'll check it out and give it a chance, you know. But hey, you know, hey, Steam doing original programming. All right, cool, you know.
Hey, everyone's getting into it.
Last thing, I had a cool thing happen at work where they were setting, you know, I do video at work and all that. And so all of a sudden the guy goes, hey, I need someone to build the camera. And my crew chief looks at me and he's like, you're the only guy who has any idea how to do this. So when I say built a camera, I mean that this thing is like 4 feet long. It's got a telephoto lens on it that's like 18 inches long. It's like 14 inches wide by 14 inches high. It's this mammoth thing, and you have to. Well, the thing is that when you put it on the tripod, you have to use these plates that connect in a certain way, and you have to balance it. Otherwise, it just falls backwards.
So wait, what was
forward.
the purpose of this camera in the first place?
It's for a live event where the camera's all the way in the back of the room. There's like hundreds and hundreds of people in the room, and so what they're doing is they're taking a shot of the person at the podium and putting it up on the screens.
Gotcha.
So I go and I build it. I'm like, okay, I think I got this. And so I let it go, and I'm just like, well, we'll see what happens. So at the end of the event, I hear a guy go, "Who built the camera?" And I go, oh crap! Here it comes! Here it comes! I'm gonna get. Here's where I get publicly humiliated. And I raise my hand. I go, I did. And he goes, where's the lens cap? I said, "Oh, it's in the box over there." And then he comes over to me and he goes, "Hey, by the way, great job building that thing. I didn't have to balance it. I didn't have to tweak it or anything. You got it right the first time. Good job." I was like, "Yes."
So
Nice.
validation.
So that's that's just gonna lead to bigger and better things because all the guys saw me build the camera. Now it's like, hey, camera's Hando's a cameraman, so put him on.
Dude,
So
that's awesome.
So there, yeah.
So,
all right.
So what you need to do is what I'm hearing is next PAX East, you need to be able to set up all the cameras for them, so that I have another reason to head out to Boston and actually go to another PAX. And yeah, I can see things happening with this.
I mean, I mean, me giving you a place to sleep, getting you in probably for free, and I don't know what else I could throw at you.
Hey, I've needed to have an excuse to go out that direction again, and I could take many. So awesome! No, I will give credit that those are some very, very good geek things to bring up this week, Hando, and so I will give you definite points for your geek cred this week. Outstanding.
Ding.
Indeed.
Yes.
That's some
So
very
with that,
cool stuff.
Thank you very much for calling in and giving us that. It has been a while since we had you on air, and so it's very nice to welcome you back. And with that, we're going to switch things over and say, hey, Mr. Happy Dude, how are you doing today?
Hey.
You sound so happy.
No, I had something caught in my throat at the same time, but
That's all right. You can stand up now. Let him go. What's going on with you this week? Sorry.
well, I'm here to only describe what turned out to be a somewhat hilarious April Fool's Day joke.
Oh,
Okay.
we like hilarious April Fool's jokes. My one at work about trying to say that I had to go to the doctor, I was suffering a condition, and I wasn't sure if I was excited or not about the news, and having a friend go, "Wait, what's wrong?" I was like, "I'm pregnant." It didn't go over as well as I'd hoped, but at least it was fun. So what was the April Fool's you ran into?
Okay, so on it's like the midnight of April Fool's, I was streaming, right? And I was streaming something completely outside of the norm. No one would.
Were you
expect me to
streaming
play.
porn?
Monster Girl Quest Hunter thing? Is that what it was?
Ooh.
Well, Wayne was close because I was playing a flash game called Destroy the Porn.
Oh. So I could think
I'm
other
Googling
things that you
this.
could destroy
I'm
that would
Googling
be
this
more
stuff.
Go to
porn-like.
GameJolt.com and there's a free downloadable game version of it.
Oh, it's alright. You can Google it. I've got it.
Okay, so this game is like 6 minutes long at best.
Okay.
And when I got off the stream, I'm like, oh hell, it's April Fool's Day now. Let me do something with it. So I hop back on my computer and record it. But this time, I'm speed running.
Okay. Speedrunning
So
a 5-minute game?
Yes, essentially. So I finished it and I uploaded it to YouTube. And
Wait. You uploaded something called Destroy the Porn to YouTube. I think I might have found your problem here, sir.
No, but what's really funny about it is that I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to make this a world record, blah 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 blah, like insanely putting it over, and trying to make it sound legit and everything. Guess who picks up wind of this and actually comments on the video?
Who did this?
Our very own Tom Bad Guy. He's like, good luck, dude. I hope you get the record. Blah blah blah. His like comments on the bottom, comments on the page, and I'm like,
Hey, dude. No, Tom is the man.
Tom.
He supports everyone doing efforts when it comes to things like this, whether you are good at it or not. He is very much like, Tom is the man. He just comments in the IRC. He said, I watched the vid and it looked good. That's actually good compliments because Tom's videos are pretty damn amazing. So,
Also, do not Google image search Destroy the Porn. Because,
safe search off, I assume.
well, unless you really like My Little Ponies, and...
But we love My Little Pony.
Wow,
Friendship
really?
is magic.
Really?
Night Elves, and...
I like Night
this
Elves.
is quite a variety, actually. Star Wars.
It's
I like Star Wars.
I
Kim
told you
Possible.
exactly where to go for it, but you decided to look for Nightmare Fuel.
Oh no, I found it, and then there wasn't enough information, so I had to see images. Oh, and Kim Kardashian. What?
No, okay, that's
see
some
why-
nightmare porn. Ugh.
Under destroy the porn, that would actually make sense. Anyway.
So, if someone were to look for said video, Mr. Cupjack, where would they go? Or what channel or what would they look for?
Well, what's really funny about it is that my channel URL is Naked Samurai, SAMAURI. What's really funny about it is that until recently, no one told me that I misspelled samurai.
Aww. Aww.
So have you contacted Google and said, hey, can I change that?
I can't change the URL, but it gave me the option to change my Google Plus profile, which makes no damn sense whatsoever.
Yeah, there's certain things that happen with that, because I'll tell you, I have so many various apparently profiles and things in there. When I actually try to log in and start the show each time, I have to go through like a dozen different login. No, not that one. I need this account that has the actual videos in it, not the one that you think is me that's over. Oh, it's so terrible. But yes.
But yeah, I decided to just call in and share that story.
I appreciate it.
Because Ken reading my email earlier, yeah.
No, it's a good story. Thank you very much, sir. Do appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, so.
Alrighty.
As we continue on, and let's see if I can actually get this back to just us, or if it freaks out like it likes to do. Which means I have to do this, and this. No, not that. This. No, not that. This. Haha.
Call everybody. Get everybody on the show.
No.
Just call everybody in your friends list. Just everybody.
Yeah, how big of a chat can I make for the show at once? That'd be interesting, is actually call up everyone we've had as a guest on the show all at once, if they're online.
That's the thing. That account wouldn't just do that. That'd be Jim Butcher answering. That'd be freaking...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can look through the number of people I have on here that are, past guests and other people that are associated with VTW as a whole. That would be an interesting conglomeration, depending on who all answered. That could be... Yeah. We'll leave that alone. God, I have so many people on there. Anyhow, on to more what we've been doing geeky before we run out of the show here this week. But no, that's awesome, guys. Thank you both for your geek cred this week. And Cupcheck, I need to find the video because I missed where... Yep, I'll find it. And I'll put it into the show notes. Anyhow, so what have you been doing geeky, sir?
Oh, yes, that's what we're doing, wasn't it? Yes, that's my desktop. Also, can you see me?
Yes, I see you just fine.
Oh,
you don't see yourself? You're not able to be. You're not able to be like narcissistic enough.
I can see myself fine. I had to actually accept your invite to thing. Anyway, whatever. So I've not used Steam in ages. I just thought it was an interesting thing. Like all the games I've been playing, I've just haven't been Steam related. I've just barely touched Steam forever. I mean, I've been playing Crysis, Far Cry. What's that one? Oh, I got Pillars of Eternity, by the way. I got that as well.
Okay.
And Hearthstone and a couple other ones, which I'll get on in a moment. But I've not touched Steam in a couple months, like at all. Like I occasionally I click on it just because it's like by habit. That's all.
Okay.
It's not as if I even use it, so it's a bit weird. I don't think this is significant. I don't think it's trying to say, "Oh, Steam is useless now" or anything. It's just this is a bit an interesting thing going on. I've just not used the main gaming tool for PC gamers in a while. Just a bit strange.
There are a few games that are outside of the Steam network and that are still quite good, so it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. So before the show, I decided to do something actual journalism sort of thing, where I'd go and actually play a game to talk about and review somewhat. One that you talked about, Heroes of the Storm. So I actually did the tutorial today, and gotta say, the funniest thing about it is when you first go in, it's like, what difficulty do you want? What would you say you already know about the game? And it's like, are you completely new to this type of game? Have you tried similar things before once or twice? Then it's like veteran, I know what I'm doing. And then there's hardcore, just leave me be. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm gonna go with veteran. I think I'm comfortable with veteran. I have not really played Dota, but I played a lot of LoL. It's not as if I'm a famous streamer or anything, so I don't feel appropriate hitting hardcore. So let's just hit veteran. Yeah, I went in and was the equivalent of a pentakill like several times. It was AI, right? So it's not really the same thing, but it's still really, Still, I just went in
It's
there and just
bad
mega
AI. It is bad AI.
per game, and it was just like, okay, that was kind of fun. And then I quit it and didn't play again today, even though I had time to, but chose not to, which I hope in itself says something about the game. So, I like the fact that it contains all the characters that I find interesting. I dislike the fact that the way it feels, minus any gameplay or anything like that, just the graphics itself, feels incredibly 2D. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm aware that I'm walking through a 3D area, but the way the map is positioned, so that when you scroll, and the way that just the animation looks, everything feels very 2D. And that alone makes it feel a bit bland to me.
Okay.
I think if they actually tried to do a bit more work on the textures, and I think it looks pretty. The way that they've done their shading and the likes, and I've got on max settings and everything, it just feels very 2D, and it's just a bit strange, and it's something I don't know if something that's just unique to me, or it was a problem with the game itself. But it's just something that I picked up on anyway. But otherwise, the graphics are quite pretty. It's nothing particularly special out there. There's a lot of elements very similar to League of Legends. And they're clearly hinting towards that when they say, have you played things similar before?
Yeah.
They're basically saying, have you played League of Legends before? Or have you played
Well,
Dota before?
it's funny because another game that's doing that is the Justice League one, or the DC one.
Sure.
Oh, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but they have one that essentially all the ads say, playing something like this, but would you like to play one that's actually got, real legends, like legendary heroes in it?
Yeah.
What was it, like a league of actual legendary heroes? It's just like, really? Is that what you did? But so I've seen similar kind of things.
Sure. Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. The game in general, I'd say it was fun, but the way the abilities work, leveling and no items. As I was I didn't go back to base once, by the way. You can use your Hearthstone.
No, you don't even have to.
I just didn't have to. I just stood there.
Well,
whenever I got to low health.
Well, yeah, it's nothing.
Whenever I got to low health, I just mega stomped some more enemy heroes and picked up the health that they dropped, and then I was fine. And the tutorial kept saying, "Go back to base! You got
I know,
low
it keeps
health!
screaming at
Go back
you
to
like,
base!"
you're low health, oh god! I was like, yeah, I think I died once the entire time I've played through multiple characters in it.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because I was screwing around like, I'll just stay here.
Yeah. Like, at one point I was just covered by like 30 minions and 2 heroes, and I won! I mean, I went to low health, but I have an ability that I knew I had an ability that would heal me. But the tutorial was just screaming at me, "Go back to base!"
Oh, I know. It's so bad.
It was pretty annoying. I feel like because I have veteran, it really shouldn't have even showed that much, to be honest. Maybe shown it once, but regardless, I feel a bit babied by it. I dislike the fact that I was there for so long and had no need to go back to base. I didn't have any reason to do it. So I was just there forever. I was just continually putting pressure on. I had heals available by killing the enemy. I had heals available from my ability. So I had just a continuous refreshment. I had no reason to go back to base because there was no items to buy or whatever. So I just stayed there. I didn't need to go into the jungle to kill minions because it was quite easy. To be fair, it's because I'm not against players, right? So that's a caveat. But in general, pretty simple game. And I was just sort of standing there and I was like, the abilities are cool, but I wish I could do more. I wish I could overpower a stat so that I could just turn to an enemy and go, boom, and just kill them in one, like a Caitlyn ult sort of thing.
It's bad.
It's just dull. Like,
it is like, and that's why I said I had to agree with Octo when I was like, I didn't believe you could simplify a game that much.
Yeah.
But man, did they. To the point where it's like, this is dumb. This is bad. And so I just don't care.
Yeah.
And
so I'm willing to go back and try again. And from what I've heard from other podcasters, including Mr. Scott Johnson, who seems to be really enjoying it, and he's obviously an avid gamer. So I do want to go give it another shot because I trust these guys. But I just think because I enjoy League of Legends, I've been not tainted, but shown the better ways, right? I know there's something better out there. And that's another thing I'll get on to saying. I may have enjoyed the characters, but it's not enough to pull me in so far. And we'll see. I'll try it again. We'll see. I'll have a few games with friends. That's the main thing, right? But right now, it felt like very one player. Now, the reason following on from that about the other characters, I noticed with 3/4 way through the game that I was playing with Uther. Now, Uther is
Okay.
one of my favorite of all time lore guys because I just
Yep.
thought it was so cool in Warcraft 3. I love the tribute to him in World of Warcraft, and Uther was just a badass, right? He was a true paladin of the light. Everybody
Okay.
else is kind of screwed up in one or another, or they mess up. He was actually like an embodiment of the light. Like he was a badass and followed the true paladin path.
Okay.
Even if the people who killed him in this one didn't. So that was cool that he existed in this game, but I didn't notice for 3/4 of the way through because it doesn't look like him. It's just a guy in armor. The art style is so different that it doesn't look like Uther. Now, I didn't play much StarCraft either, so those characters I'm sort of like, oh, I recognize those from the
Those I knew
Battle.net
at least.
store.
Yeah, I at least know them.
I know of them. I kind of know who they are just from the game covers and stuff, and we mentioned them before in the show. But I don't know them because I didn't play the game, so I was like, okay, I don't care about those. The World of Warcraft characters I don't care about because I can't even tell it's them. So, all that thing that I thought would pull me in is suddenly not. So here's hoping maybe when I don't know who's in the game. I haven't even looked that far into it. But maybe say I play Sylvanas or Arthas, I might enjoy that more. The intro cinematic I really enjoyed because while it was a bit cheesy and it was clearly just look at all these cool characters, they're all here together. Which is clearly why they're all there, right? And I can see why they play on that fact. But they could have made it so much cooler. They could have interacted lore-wise. They could have made it like more confusion and ridiculousness. I mean, they could have had the fact that Arthas was against some woman with a gun, right? That was just ridiculous, right? Like they didn't even play on that fact of how silly it was.
No, I know. The whole thing's a little just awkward. And if this doesn't scream like the, Blizzard, the
Try hard.
screaming for more money and attention, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Because, as we said, dumbing down the mechanics of a MOBA to the point of not having to even worry about shopping for items or last hitting at all.
Yeah.
And things like that. I was like, holy crap, this is like, not even MOBA light. It's MOBA for like, I can only click the mouse button. Using the keyboard's too hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little awkward how easy and how many mechanics they pull out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So far it really doesn't I'm not pulled to whatsoever. So we'll see what happens in the future. But anyway, I tried that before the show, and that's my thoughts on it so far. Hearthstone. So I mentioned in passing last week I've been getting into it, and I mentioned I also got working on my phone. But my phone broke last Friday. Thankfully, I've got my phone back as well, so that's sweet. So I've now
This
been
is
playing.
good. So you're no longer on loaner phone number 4 that's Android-ish.
Oh, it's disgusting. It was so bad. I finally started adding apps to it come like Thursday. But thankfully I got my phone back, so it was all fine. The apps didn't even work, by the way. I couldn't even tweet properly. It was such bull crap. So yeah, I've been playing Hearthstone on both accounts still. That's fun. It's kind of annoying because sometimes I'm like, why is my mage deck not got, I don't know, random card X in it? It hasn't showed up at all. Then I'm like, oh wait, it's on my other account.
Oh yeah.
Plus, my PC account, which by the way, same account, just that for some reason the Battle.net differentiates between mobile and PC. I don't know why, because I'm playing the same game and it looks the same and acts the same.
Yes, because I don't know. That makes no sense.
I don't know, but I don't mind having two accounts. It's kind of fun. It means I can try out different things. So I'm taking my mobile one as my less serious, my PC one being as my bit more serious. Mainly because I've unlocked so much more stuff on the computer. Like I've got like 5 legendaries or something now. So that is the main thing. I've been playing a little bit of the new expansion which came out in Hearthstone, the Blackwing BRD Blackrock Depths. Blackrock Depths,
Okay.
I think is what it is. So you can buy that with 700 gold in game or like £5 in real life, so like $8 or whatever, for like 3 battles, and you get a reward at the end of each one, and for getting all 3 dead, right? Now, I'm a little bit peeved because I put in that gold that I'd been saving because I knew it was coming out soon. Blackrock Mountain, sorry. It's got new cards, new adventures, and so on. A new one unlocks each week. You can buy the whole thing for like £15 or whatever, or you can get 1 wing at a time. And so I tried out the first one, and it was good fun. I gotta say that each deck, each like scenario that you're placed in, is a lot of fun in the match. So it's a card game for anyone who doesn't know what Hearthstone is, and if you don't, please do download it because it's awesome. But each scenario was cool, and it was fun, and it was unique, and it had a lot of bit of humor behind it, and the cards you were playing against were interesting, and you're putting in unique scenarios. It also unlocked some class challenges, one of which is where you play as a mage against one of these scenarios. But your mage deck is 40 cards or whatever, of of the same card, which is like Arcane Portal, which just summons a random creature that exists in the game, which is so much fun. I really enjoyed that. So my entire game was just based on random guy, go. So you'd be pulling out like Ragnaros or a Murloc or whatever. Like, it was cool. It was good fun. I liked that. That added a cool new element of gameplay. But for the amount of time and effort I put into getting that gold together to play that level, while those few things were great fun, they were just not enough, you know? Like, I put in probably a couple, like maybe 15, 20 hours worth of effort doing the quest to get the gold, to get this expansion, for like an hour and 10 minutes of fun. And maybe it's because my decks were quite well equipped, so that when I went into these scenarios, if I knew what I needed to do, I could work out which deck I should use the next time, sort of thing. So I managed to work it quite well, and my decks were quite efficient. The first 2 quests I finished first time, so they weren't hard enough. Again, maybe just that my decks were good enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm a good player for these scenarios specifically. I don't know. But it kind of annoyed me, the fact that I got through it so quickly. The last one, I gotta say, trumped me about 4 or 5 times in a row before I managed to crack it. The last one was really interesting, actually, and I'll go into a little bit of technical depth here. So you're going against the last guy in Blackrock Depths, who is the Dark Iron Master guy, the head guy in the Dark Irons. Okay. Who's got that princess, right? Who's from Ironforge. Jeez, I'm not saying these words in so long, because I've not played WoW in so long. I'm trying to remember all this lore. Theresian or whatever her name is. Anyway, so the idea is she's like a normal dwarf, and he's not a Dark Iron dwarf, and they got married, and this is his wife. And it's a big, huge drama thing in the land of World of Warcraft and in the land of dwarves. And in Hearthstone, she's already on the board as a summoned creature with like 1 attack, 3 defense on his part. Okay. And she's got this passive which says, while she is summoned, this character that you're against will not use his hero attack. Now, when you see that, you're like, huh, that's strange. That seems like so he gets 1 free minion, but while she's alive, he doesn't use his hero power. What's his hero power? You go have a look. Instantly kill your other guy, the guy you're against. Kill me. Instantly kill me. So the gimmick is, this character has to stay alive, or you will lose instantly, pretty much. Right? So I looked at that, and I was like, so there's different ways of tackling this. So I tried to mind control the girl, so I wouldn't kill her, right? Okay. That counts as a kill, as it turns out. So he just instantly mega bombed me, and I was like, damn it! So that was good fun. I was like, shucks, that made sense. Nice one. Then I tried, okay, I'll just put up a couple characters with taunt, so that she's too busy attacking them, so and they won't, like, just mage ones, so they don't attack her back or whatever, and that'll work. Okay. But then they killed her because she only attacked them, right? So then she died, and I died again. I was like, God damn it! So I tried a couple techniques, and eventually I managed to do it where I just let her bash on stuff. I just let her bash me in the face. And I killed him off in other ways, and it was fine. And I got past it, and again, I was bored. I was like, oh, okay, I finished the whole thing, that's me done, and I'm kind of let down by that. So, come on, guys. Why are you only letting 1 wing a week? And why is it so expensive? You are a-holes. Damn it, Blizzard. This is why people want to give you money.
Blizzard. Certain mechanic. There you go.
Yeah. But I really like Hearthstone. It's good if you're smart with your money and you're not tempted to spend it. I gotta say, I'm always tempted. I am always tempted, but I don't.
This is why you just only play it on a hacked version on your phone where you're not able to purchase anything. Me buy it. Yeah, that sounds smart and much more manageable.
Man. So I have this urge when I play in my life to advance. I think everybody does. It's a human thing where you want to achieve something and you want to progress. Which is why WoW was great, right? Because you could have that feeling of progressing, getting up your levels, and you get your gear, you get your gold, you get your reputations, and your achievements. It's brilliant for that. That's why WoW was so fantastic, and it was like that drug, because you feel like you're actually doing something with your life, even though you're totally not. And I always have the urge, and that's why WoW always occasionally pulls back people, right? Because they're like, you could have that feeling again. But it doesn't let you have that feeling again. So I got this app on my phone, which it seems to be based on doing exactly that. Okay. It's really smart. It's called iFarm. It's a free app. It's completely free. I'll show you if you can see in the camera there. This is all it is. It's a couple bars that move along like that, couple buttons, and it's literally a virtual farm. So you don't even have any images. You have some images, but you don't have any like graphics.
Okay.
And it's just a couple buttons, which just say like, you are currently making this. You are currently harvesting that. You're currently selling that. That's all it is. That is the whole game. It's just a bit of stats, and it takes away the whole. The only thing you can pay for is to get rid of ads. That's it, right? So it's free, and it gives you that feeling of doing something silly, and it's playing with numbers. And I'm really enjoying it. It's so pathetic. It's not even a game.
Hey, this goes all the way back to like Mafia Wars and such, even though that had a little bit of graphics, where you really didn't do a whole lot of anything but manage some basic stuff, so.
But this thing is so basic. It came out 2 years ago. It's only got 49 votes. It is not well known, but man, did I enjoy it. I've had a great time with it. And the problem is you finish it really quickly though. That's the biggest issue with it. But man, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's just a little bit of silliness, and it makes you pass some time. And before you notice, you put 15 minutes in just this simple game where you're just like selling to nobody, and you're just trying to make your thing more efficient. And you're like, what am I doing? But I feel great. I'm loving it. I don't know why. I'm on my second playthrough. It's great fun. I try it out. It's great for sitting on the toilet kind of thing, right? It's not going to be a real game, but it's good for that. And with that has been my week in the geeky things, the geeky spectrum.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of fun. It's been silly.
Well, I will try to similarly go through what I've done, but very quickly, since we're going to near the end of the show, even though there's actually news we could have talked about this week.
I know, so much.
So, also in the range of April Fool's stuff, it is that time of year in so many of our games, and I know, Handa, you probably wanted to bring it up, but forgot to. In War Thunder, they had a mode called Big Gun Mode, which I don't really know what it means because I've never played it. Might check it out still if it's still running around. I did, however, play some Earth in League of Legends Ultra Rapid Fire Mode, which is that mode they did last year where it basically takes away all the cooldowns for your abilities, any mana costs, go nuts. Which makes casters and assassins really damn powerful in the game. Now, I only played it a few times, and when I played it, I basically played Malzahar, which was epic fun, because being able to drop all the purple dots of death multiple times on a person and doing the whole combo, just like, purple dot, silence wall, pool, purple dot, silence wall, pool, and just keep doing it over and over again, to the point where I could get up to 3 of his little automatic minions that pop out at a time because I'm casting spells so fast, as well as have as many as 2 or 3 of those dots on one character at a time where they would just start melting. Just so much fun. And doing that against real people in Earth mode, which was just a great time, because I think I won every one of the Earth modes I played against real people. And still playing ARAM and stuff like that, but that was a lot of fun. So it is neat that there's a lot of companies that do enjoy embracing the April Fool's theme and doing silly things like that. And League of Legends is huge, and they do it, go figure. And you'll know as soon as you start the game and you see their far too loud of starting music when they have Earth at the launch screen kind of holding up his spatula and the epic bomb, bomb, bomb. It's a little too much, guys. Just drop it down a notch. Simmer down. Just simmer down a bit. But
to be fair, people have been dying for this mode. Like, I don't know if you watched the League of Legends subreddit, but they've been going absolutely crazy asking for this to come back. It's been like a meme. It's recurring. It's non-stop.
Earth mode is... So there's certain things I feel like they test all these different things in League of Legends, and they leave them for a couple weeks and take them off. It's what originally happened, like ARAMs of like before becoming full-time things. Ones I think they need to keep forever because they're just fun. Earth mode I think should stay because it's a good time and you don't have to think and you just kind of play craziness. One that I would love to see back more than almost anything else is Doom bots. I want Doom bots because the regular bots in League of Legends are so easy, it's insane. It's just like we were talking about with Heroes of the Storm. The bots are terrible. And so the bots in League are still so gameable that nobody really has a challenge. But Doombots was hard because they cheated like mofos and they got to throw abilities that don't exist for you. Every one of those abilities and ults was up by 3 or 4 times. It was so epic and fun to play with. An actual challenge. So I wish they would keep that. There's other modes out there as well. But that's one of those cases, and Earth is one of those ones that's really fun. Alright, other things I've been doing since I'm running out of time quickly. I've been playing some more Homeworld Remastered, which is a lot of fun. I keep telling people, if you never played the original Homeworld, which came back out in the 90s, this is one of the best RTSs I've ever seen. It took on some of the best mechanics of games that have copied after the fact, not realizing they started all the way back in Homeworld. Homeworld Remastered is like $30. You get both the first and second edition of Homeworld, plus the updated multiplayer and all of the expansion stuff for it. So check it out. It's good fun. I've been enjoying going through it again. The strategy elements in there are so much fun. And for me, who likes this single-player aspect of an RTS more so than in many cases the multiplayer, this is an amazing throwback. Other things I've been playing. I had some experience with Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare just recently as I was playing with the guys here locally. Neither of which went well. Somehow I got reintroduced to things like mouse acceleration in my games, even though I turned all the inputs to the raw mode, which might have, again, got something to do with the USB issues I've had happening. But in Battlefield, which I've never experienced before, I would move my mouse and get this floaty, kind of like I was moving at 1/100th my speed turning around while everyone else is running at normal speed. Very frustrating. Call of Duty was similar in the sense that I had to quit the game because I was ready to start punching babies, and that game has pulled out rage in me like I haven't seen in some time, in very quick like snippets of play where I was just like, I don't know why, but when your gameplay controls don't fit what you know you're inputting, it's amazing how frustrating that becomes quickly.
Can imagine, yep.
Other than that, I've been watching a lot of Naruto Shippuden, the second overall series of that, as I've been trying to catch up and watch many an anime. I've been watching Slayers with Copy, so when we've been cosplay editing or doing things together, we've both been watching the same episodes of Slayers, as well as Naruto, which I've been enjoying more and more. The second season is so much better. The second series is so much better than the first. So very much enjoying that, and they're getting to just epic levels of violence and action where I'm kind of like, awesome. I'm trying to think what other things. There's been little like tidbits where I've been bouncing around anime. I'm trying to get my source material together, so I have to go get hold of the Cell Saga for Dragon Ball Z, which it seems like nobody is streaming anywhere. Because I have access to like so many sources to get different animes like Crunchyroll and Netflix and Amazon Prime. None of them have Dragon Ball Z other than movies. WTF.
I can get you it.
No, I can acquire it, but this is one of those moments, when you try to do everything the right way, and it seems like people force you to find other ways to accomplish your task. This is one of those.
Which one are you going to watch anyway? So like,
I just want to watch Cell Saga so I can Dragon Ball Z Cell Saga so I can get to Mr. Satan and start referencing him and get ready for my character. Okay, and so I need to get Cell Saga because I've watched all of Dragon Ball Z. In fact, here's the sad part. I need to stop looking online. I have every one of the discs on DVD in a massive disc thing upstairs. I have all of Dragon Ball Z and GT on disc. Yes, exactly. And I will never watch GT again because shite.
Do you have the latest film and the new one that's coming out and all
I
the
don't.
other films?
I just want to watch the source material. I still will eventually see all those, but I need to see the source material for cosplay. Same thing happened to Serenity. You can't currently stream Serenity anywhere unless you purchase it as a separate thing. I just want to watch it on like Netflix or Prime or something. And I swore I owned it, but I maybe just owned the Blu-rays of Firefly, so I went out and bought it on Amazon for like $10. But it was just so frustrating because I actually stopped by like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, all the big box stores around. None of them had Serenity. They had Firefly, but not the movie. And I was so pissed because I want to do a cosplay of Shepard from the movie because I've already done the TV show. Anyhow, so those are things I've been doing that have been geeky this week. Pretty much, as I try to force it out as quick as possible before we have to end the show here. I think it's about time for us to wrap things up, though.
Fair enough.
So with that, I want to mention that please stay tuned for what's coming up next with Casually Hardcore and Alpha Geek Radio, Alpha Geek Media. We much appreciate those guys as we live stream between both VTW and Alpha Geek. And you can always check out their video and chat link for us, and you can see the links in our show notes. Or just go to the Alpha Geek page and you can find us there. Also, make sure you check out all the shows on VTWProductions.com. Specifically tonight, I believe we have another episode of Tales of Relevant Thought, Mr. Tom. I could have swore I saw that from Kuro earlier, so stay tuned for after the Alpha Geeks and Casually Hardcore for a new episode of Tort. Those guys are getting started doing a whole lot of new content again, which is awesome because they are all of the entertaining. All right, with that, Ken, could you please give them all of the things so we can get out of here?
Sure. Number one thing, patreon.com. Check us out there. Patreon.com/VTW ShowX. I think, or maybe it's just ShowX. Wait. Patreon.com. Yeah, it's just ShowX. Patreon.com/ShowX. We currently have 5 patrons. That's freaking awesome. We're getting a bunch of money per month, which is really helping us keep the show running with everything we do here, software-wise,
we maybe have to
server-wise, so on and
replace
so forth.
chinchilla chewed cables or something. We'll see.
Yes, which we have done so far. Keeping us going and improving us as we go. If you appreciate the show and you've been listening to our 2 hours a week of all this fun, any little helps. Just $1 a month would be really useful. Anything helps, guys. Check us out, patreon.com/showx, twitter.com/VTWShowx, twitter.com/DocDead, and twitter.com/GoX. For the show, Wayne and myself there. Check us out to follow us. It's good fun. Check us out on facebook.com. Check out Showx on there as well as Versus the World Productions. Versus the World Productions, yes. Also, check us out on our main website and check all the ads there and so on and so forth. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. It's all because of you that we exist. Thank you for listening in, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for having me on the show, sir.
Awesome. As always, thank you. And we will see you again next week. I say we. Ken will see you next week. I'm going to be sending Mr. Octail to another country. And so I will be in Las Vegas. I may or may not be on, but it's going to be up to Scottish internets to make the show happen next week. Ken. So we shall see.
All
right.
I break everything.
Exactly. Well, notoriously. So with that, I do not see the casuals in our chats and stuff here, so I'm not sure if they're coming next, but we will assume they are, because our time is up. So come join us in the TeamSpeak server. You can get all the details on the front page at vtwproductions.com. They're basically the exact same as Ventrilo, just download TeamSpeak 3. And you can come join us in the game night. We'll see you there, and I need some suggestions on how to rename channels and stuff like that and get it all set up properly. I haven't had enough time to finish making it cool. Anyhow, catch you guys next week as a show, and we'll have more things and awesomeness coming up. Please email us in at showx@vtwproductions.com. We want to hear some of the things you saw at April Fool's, anything you yourself did for April Fool's or experienced, and just any tech news and stuff you want us to talk about on the show. Also, opinions on how we did, things like that. Anyhow, we're done. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you next zombie. Good night. Also, good.
Bacteria. Bacteria. Look, there's bacteria. 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 You might not see them, but they're there. Bacteria. Bacteria. Everything you touch. Bacteria. Bacteria. That's right. Salmonella bacteria. But we have to watch out.